You said you didn't want to see a horror Stephen King movie. Congratulations. Instead, we got an NRA film that combines R.I.P.D. with The Matrix
They just had it.
and 9/11 Illusions.
It's based on a bestseller.
Yeah, well, The Giver was a bestseller, and I don't like that. I don't like that book either. Disclaimer: I don't love Stephen King books. I don't hate Stephen King books. I haven't read a Stephen King book. Kay has, so she can explain everything that this movie didn't explain.
I'd never read this book.
Okay.
And that was from 1983. You think I'm going to remember? I
thought you remembered Carrie.
Yeah, I remembered Carrie because I had seen the movie and I read the book.
Well, you've seen 3 Carries now. Or, I've seen 4.
Yep.
It's gonna be remade again, probably.
Excuse me.
So anyway, oh my god. The kid in this movie, Jake, he has not visions, but dreams of, like, the world coming to an end. And then he's drawing a house, and he's drawing, like, 2 people. He's drawing, like, someone...
The man in black.
Pretty much...
And the gunslinger.
Pretty much imagine...
Slinger.
Pretty much imagine Will Smith in camo gear, and that's the gunslinger.
He wasn't in camo gear. He was a long leather trench coat.
Okay, imagine Blade then. He's the gunslinger. Matthew McConaughey.
He was the bad guy.
He's the other guy. Oh, right.
With magic.
He's the guy who's...
Stop breathing.
And he's talking like this, like, you can do whatever I say. All right. Now, let's get on with it.
Oh, I'm tired, folks. Long day.
This movie had a lot of things working against it from the get-go with me. For example, it's a Stephen King adaptation, and those aren't usually the best. Some are good, but then you get stuff like the 2002 Carrie television series, and you get Thinner. I wanted to review Pet Sematary this year, but Kate was like, I don't want to review Scary. So instead we're reviewing whatever you can legally call this. A thriller, I guess? I think on IMDb it said it was an action-adventure fantasy. I don't know whose fantasy, but sure. This movie kind of reminded me of Magic in the Mirror, but like a grittier version. Like I was like, Akiva Goldsman, he wrote this movie, and Akiva Goldsman's been involved in some of my least favorite movies. Like, he was a producer on King Arthur Legend of the Sword. He wrote Transformers The Last Night.
That one I had to watch like 3 times while you fell asleep 3 times.
You could have paused it. Oh, and this isn't his first book adaptation, because he also wrote and directed Winter's Bone.
Wasn't that critically acclaimed?
No, or Winter's Tale, I mean.
Oh.
Father, do you love? Say you love. You love. And the one with the flying horse. And Will Smith saying, denied.
Yes.
So, he gets in trouble with a bully. Take a drink. And...
well, the bully took his drawings away.
Yeah, but he got them back, and then as a result he was going to be put away for the weekend, and he didn't want to because he knew that the people were basically,
wrong.
They were basically Terminators.
Yeah.
they were human skin over like metal exoskeleton. And this movie loves to name drop another franchise that is way better than this movie, Men in Black. I'm going to give Stephen King credit and say that's not the name from the book and that Akiva Goldsman just picked that name because in the movie Dreamcatcher, the creatures in the movie were called poop weasels, but in the movie they were called viruses. They were actually called something else, but Kay's here.
Thank you. Didn't have to tell
Not making
me.
that up.
You didn't have to tell me.
So, they go through a portal, or
he goes through the portal first.
Jake goes through a portal after escaping from the Men in Black, and
he put in 1919 because that's what he kept seeing in his visions.
This house comes to life and it's apparently possessed by a demon, or there's a demon monster that fights, and I'm like, you're right, movie, I should be watching 1408. It's way better than this.
Mm-hmm.
You would love that movie. You need to see that.
Maybe not.
I need to rewatch it anyway. So he ends up pretty much in the middle of a desert with a bunch of rocks. Like, imagine the desert from John Carter. That's pretty much what it is, but with rocks. So he keeps walking, and he finds, like, a pair of shoes and, like, a small drink thing. No, I'm talking about when he finds the thing of water.
That was a fireplace. The guy had
or the flask.
Yeah, the guy had just made his dinner.
So
campfire.
It's Idris Elba, and he's trying to he wants to like kill him, but then he shows drawings and it's like, okay, let's go.
We have to go to the tribe. The tribe elder can read.
Meanwhile, we have to go through the forest, so it was reminding me of Aragon. Maybe Akiva Goldsman is a Lord of the Rings fan. In which case, I'm glad he had no involvement in writing those movies. So then, there's like daydreams and like vision. He's having visions that Matthew McConaughey is talking to him, but he's not.
Right.
He's like looking at it through a globe or through a crystal ball thing where it's like, you're right, movie, I should watch Little Mermaid. It's way better than this.
Oh, God.
So,
quit yawning.
So then, Jake realizes that the Matthew McConaughey's character can like morph into like other people, including his deceased father, and Idris Elba's father, played by You're in Good Hands with Allstate, Dennis Haysbert. Oh, I'm sorry. Stop calling me Allstate guy. I have a name. It's guy from Waiting to Exhale. You're in good hands. That was from when Chappelle hosted SNL. He did that impression. I was like,
okay.
Then we'll put you on some spaghetti, you chocolate weirdo. So, then there's...
They finally make it to the village.
So they go to the village, but during that, Matthew McConaughey has gone into has used the portal to go into Keystone Earth.
Right. The city he was from, which we think was New York. Because the one house he had to go to was in Brooklyn.
Man, Akiva Goldsman, you didn't have to set this movie in Brooklyn. Do you have no soul?
It was New York City and Brooklyn.
Very tasteless, dude. At least in my opinion.
Okay.
You don't know what's so tasteless about it?
In Brooklyn?
We'll get to it. So anyway, he like basically says evil to like a child. He says to the two
No, he
Terminators.
said hate.
Yeah, to the child.
Yeah, and then she started hating her mom.
I kind of wish that scene had continued. That would have been interesting. Like, woo! And then there was a scene, and then there was a part where he has this thing where he's like, stop breathing, and then like they basically die from
No breath spare.
asphyxia, I think. Is that what it's called?
I guess. Fixie
And
is
then
putting a plastic bubble over your head, isn't it? Or a black bag or something.
I think it's asphyxiation. I think.
Whatever. Anyway.
So then he does that to the stepdad, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And to the mother, he just basically like possesses and entrances her.
Drawings. Show me his drawings.
So then we get a flashback, so take a drink. In 88 minutes, you couldn't come up with 88 minutes worth of film. Okay. You couldn't.
Whatever.
I came up with almost an hour from Scoob, and I didn't repeat anything. So anyway, he basically smokes his mother. Or smokes the mother.
Cremates her.
Yeah, that's what I meant by smoking.
Yep. He gets the flame in his hand, and then he says, burn.
That's what happened?
Yeah, then she burned.
He didn't say burn.
Yes, he did. Like the guy in the village. And he was going to do it to the gunslinger.
Meanwhile, yeah, I know that at the end. And he didn't say, I don't remember him saying burn. And then at the village...
Oh, he says fire. I'm sorry.
I don't think he says fire either.
Yes,
I think he
does.
just like does...
He says fire. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
So anyway, then at the village,
You're back to the village?
well, I needed to talk about Matthew McConaughey's character. So anyway, at the village, it's kind of like the scene in Last Airbender where the kid has to prove his powers to like this lady. I don't know her name. I don't remember. Did they even say her name?
The one with the sheep? Or the elder?
She was like, she was the Asian girl?
She was the elder.
She was the one that,
Read his mind about his
yeah,
drawings.
and was taking care of that guy, and then he said, like, duh. And it's like, tell me. Meanwhile, she was getting, like, a bloody nose. I guess that's a side effect?
Because she was fighting him. She didn't want to say where Jake went.
So anyway, we need to go back a little bit because there's like a huge attack of the village, and I was like, yeah, I should rewatch Mulan. It reminded me of it.
Okay, we can.
It reminded me of Mulan.
Okay.
So anyway, then they do the portal to go into the current time, so it's kind of reminding me of Masters of the Universe. Akiva Goldsman has a weird home collection of movies. And they enter through a Chinese restaurant?
No.
Or just a restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was flinging burgers.
Well, at the end
Yes,
they go
he had
through.
an Asian guy.
No,
there.
at the end they go through a Chinese restaurant. Remember?
When they came back into New
No,
York.
no. At the end of the movie.
Oh, there was a Chinese restaurant next
Yeah.
door. Yes.
So
and a
anyway,
movie theater that said
spaghetti Western Showcase or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, then there's so then Idris Elba goes to the hospital for almost no reason, except to say
he got hurt.
yeah, but he doesn't get any surgery or anything. It's basically
No, they were giving him antibiotics because he had hepatitis A, C, D,
A, B, C, something.
Yeah.
It was like radiation poisoning.
Radiation poisoning. Yeah.
I have a feeling that
we want
scene.
to keep you overnight.
I have a feeling that scene was there.
I heal fast.
That scene was either there to set up the medicine part, or to imply that in the past animals spoke.
Yeah.
That's all I took from that. Anyway, so then he takes like a
whole mix of
questionable amount of medicine
drugs
combined with
painkiller,
combined with a can of sugar. It's not Coca-Cola.
It was, but
it looks exactly like Coca-Cola. But I guess Coke saw this movie and was like, yeah, no. So they couldn't even like cover it with like, here, have a can of pop. Keep in mind, people, Coke was willing to be in the movie Battleship. This movie was below Battleship in terms of their quality. And I agree, Battleship is way funnier. So then, they find out about his stepfather and his mother. Then they have kind of a falling out. Then they
teaches them how. Oh,
they go to a gun store and they basically rob the place of bullets.
Yeah.
I would debate maybe making the world a safer place.
Well, they were.
But then Matthew McConaughey is just like standing right there. All right, like being.
No, he was from the Globe again. The Or.
He was being Ursula.
Yeah, from the Or.
Meanwhile,
because he had the guy in the gun.
Meanwhile, it seems like everyone in the town or city has become like a zombie possessor. Like, we need to get you. We need to get you. We need to get you. It was like almost everyone was trying to get Jake. Then two guys finally catch him in a van. So then he keeps. Then he learns about shooting. Then the scene at the gun store, and then they get separated.
If you're following this,
give me some credit. It's not the easiest movie.
I know, but
would you have been able to get this detailed? I'm gonna go full spoilers because this movie is kind of offensive.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean. So anyway, they're basically communicating via thoughts, telepathically. So it's like, you're right, movie. I should watch this instead of a Terrence Malick movie. I haven't seen a Terrence Malick movie, but I'm willing to bet this is better. It's at least an hour and a half shorter. Or a half an hour, hour and a half shorter. Well, we'll see those one day.
Yep.
So anyway, then they go through a portal to 1408, and it's like, yeah, movie, I should watch 1408. That's a good Stephen King movie, or that's a good Stephen King adaptation. At least I'm guessing.
Earlier. Yep.
So then they put like a metal thing or like some mind thing around him.
Yeah, because they want to capture all of his
energy and power, which works, which launches something that hits a tower
Right.
in New York City.
The tower is for the whole world. I know.
Mm. Really?
But then he reverses
Really?
his power.
You
Yes, dear.
this movie could have been set in Los Angeles or Pittsburgh or Dallas or heck, even Chicago, and I wouldn't have made that comparison. Why
Okay.
is this movie trying to reenact 9/11?
I don't think it was.
An explosion hit in a tower which could potentially kill the world.
It wasn't going to kill the world. It was going to kill the light of the world.
Okay, that's better, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of bulletisms, and there's a lot of bullet in this movie. This is an NRA sponsored movie in terms of the bullets. Lady Terminator would have trouble keeping up with these bullets.
Oh God, I need to go to bed.
In the meanwhile, there's like bullet time where Matthew McConaughey is like catching bullets and like ripping up or tearing apart glass, and
He was shooting glass.
and like shooting glass back, so a piece of glass like goes through Idris Elba. And this is the part you didn't like. He
used his teeth to pull it out.
which it looked like it healed pretty fast.
No, because he wrapped it.
Yeah, I'm just saying we didn't really see that much blood afterwards. You'd think like an organ would have fallen out in terms of that.
You have an organ in your hand.
You know what I mean. So anyway,
Okay.
then, I mean, I won't mention that movie. So anyway, then,
Excuse you.
I'm sorry. So then, Matthew McConaughey is defeated. The power like goes out because Idris Elba shoots a few things. The kid gets out, and I'm assuming everything is okay, or I have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Because
There's still a lot of
his what do you want to call it? Troop. His group, his section, whatever, in New York. He demolished that like volcano like building.
Save it for the sequel.
Yep.
I don't know if this movie will get a sequel.
Just can I have my glasses?
You talk for a little bit.
Don't scrape, please.
So anyway, Idris Elba is amazed by something called a hot dog.
Yeah.
He's like, what animal is
breed?
this? Well, it's several breeds.
Well, pig, beef, could be chicken. Is that better?
I think you'll like it.
Yeah. Ooh, pretty bright. Thank you.
Much better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some dots that kind of distracted me.
Okay.
So basically, Jake says, you know what? Or Jake agrees to go with Idris Elba's character into the other dimension, saying like, well,
You don't have anything left here.
you have no, yeah. Just go and be like, he's like, okay. They go into a Chinese restaurant near the movie theater, and then you see like a zap, like, which I'm guessing is their
The
portal.
Yep.
Credits.
Yep.
Maybe,
It wasn't the worst movie I've seen.
How does it compare to the Stephen King movies you've seen?
Mild.
So, no, I mean in terms of
I'm
like
so sorry
your
you guys
favorite.
to see me on. Ooh.
Like, would this go into your love it or hate it list?
Middle of the road. I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
This
It's
would
better than other stuff.
this would probably go into the lower tier for me. I haven't seen a ton of Stephen King movies, but the ones I've
I
seen.
feel like we've seen a lot.
No, we haven't.
Didn't we see all three Carries? And then didn't
Well,
we
I've
see
seen 4 Carries.
the trucks?
Oh yeah,
and
trucks. We saw Christine. We saw this. We saw
Thinner.
Oh, stupid Thinner.
I feel like we've seen others.
The Running Man.
The Running Man. So what is that? 7?
I don't know.
3.
This is better. This is probably
8.
This might be the second worst Stephen King movie I've ever seen. It's not as bad as The Rage Carrie 2.
Probably Running Man and Trucks would take my top.
I don't even think Trucks would take mine.
Oh, you would say Carrie or something.
Chloe
right?
Moretz Carrie is my number 1. And Running Man number 1, Chloe Moretz Carrie number 2. This would be on the bottom 2 if I had to guess, purely because nothing made sense and it was kind of confusing and offensive.
They were always on the move.
Oh, 1408. That would also go in my favorites. I need to rewatch that.
Okay.
Okay, you've heard my thoughts. I do not recommend this movie. It's super confusing. I'm assuming it's very... I don't know. I'm guessing it's not very faithful to the source material, but apparently Stephen King books and stuff are tough to make into source material. But yeah, it's boring, it's confusing, it's offensive, it's depressing. I don't like this movie. I would have rather seen Pet Sematary or Tales from the Crypt, or
no.
what else? Or I wanted to see Cujo. I wanted to see
not with me.
Yeah, Pet Sematary or Cujo or.
Not with me. No.
What do you think about this movie?
I didn't think it was all that bad. Okay.
Do you want it on Blu-ray?
No, I don't want it on Blu-ray. Compared to the rest of his, I thought I followed it pretty good. You said you couldn't follow it or whatever, and it didn't have really good meaning.
It felt like maybe it was a 2-hour film that they chopped it down to 87 minutes.
That could be. But I still think it was a pretty good movie. That kid, if it was his first movie, he did pretty good.
Yeah, he looks like Timothy Chalamet, I guess.
I don't know who that is. Where's the cover?
No, he doesn't look like Timothy Chalamet. He looks like... Oh, well, whatever. Join us next time when we cash in on one of Kay's choices.
Woohoo!
Bye!
Bye!
Now go to sleep.